Okay, guys, I really can't sugarcoat this. My father is really sick right now. Yeah, I mentioned a few videos ago that they safely returned from Rome, safe and sound. But eventually he started coming down with a few things. Well, eventually it turned out he had the flu. And eventually he became so delirious from it that on Saturday morning at my folks' place, he actually fell. Little did we all realize that, he didn't fall from like the top of a tall building or anything, not like that, just more like he was standing, he was walking, and he fell. So basically, he's 6'2". I guess he fell 6'2", I guess? I don't know. I don't really get the physics of that necessarily. The point is, little did we know that he actually fractured a couple of his ribs. And on top of that, it eventually ended up collapsing one of his lungs. He then later developed pneumonia from it. Excuse me. So, yeah, he's not doing very well right now. He's actually over at Robert Packer Hospital in Sayre because there was no room left in Corning, and in Sayre he's in the ICU. So it's pretty serious. But you know what? It's got me thinking. I've never really talked about any of the members of my family outside of my brother and my sister-in-law. Love you guys. But you know what? I think it's about time I at least just grab a few things about my father. I think it's about time we've done that. We're only 74 days in. Yeah, that's good enough, right? So, I guess from the beginning, my father was born on February 5th, so we already had his birthday, 1959. He, grew up just like any typical kid around the time would. He had friends growing up. He worked when he was supposed to. He did everything that we all pretty much do in our lives. He played football, he wrestled, and he played lacrosse for Corning West. This is back when Corning East and Corning West were split up, so he went to Corning West. And my mother went to Corning East. They got together. It was quite the scandal. And then no one cared. It's pretty obvious after high school nobody cares. He, in the winters when my father was young, he and his family would go skiing, which he would eventually teach my brother and I how to ski. And I've stated this before, but when I was younger, I really hated skiing. And if you've seen my father, if any of you know my father, he's a pretty burly looking guy. It's kind of hard to really say no to him when you're an impressionable young kid, but that's neither here nor there. And eventually, I do like skiing now, obviously, because I'm an adult and I'm much smarter. But, yeah. Thanks to him, not only do I have a better appreciation for skiing, but I've mentioned in a few videos that, the Trinity Pauling captains, who were the ski captains, who were captains of the ski team, my brothers or whatever. It's actually on my bucket list to go skiing with you guys, if any of you guys are watching. Actually, I should say those guys and one of the captain's brothers. Because, they were two brothers when I was at Trinity Pauling. One of them was a senior who graduated with me, and I believe his younger brother was a sophomore. I could be wrong, but the point is on my bucket list to go skiing with you guys. It's actually on my bucket list to go skiing with the ski coach. partly because he was my functional analysis and trigonometry teacher. And yes, the name of the class is a mouthful. It is. Anyway, that's a bit of a... Well, actually, it goes into my father still because he helped me develop an appreciation for math. I mean, he'd yell at me, he'd pound in my head if I was doing something wrong, but he was a parent. He only did it because he cared. I mean, I hated him for it then, but I'm definitely more appreciative of it now. Let's see what else. I mean, he would come to watch me practice sports all the time. You know, he's always been supportive of my brother and I in our athletic endeavors. You know, he'd do everything he could to come to our sporting events. You know, he was our coach for a few things. Not mine, but also my brother's as well. And eventually he'd end up being the general manager at my family's business, Cutler's Carpet. You know what? He's not just a flooring salesman. He's not just any salesman. You know what? He's not only the best flooring salesman in this entire area, he's the best salesman of anything, period. He is. You give that man like 1 hour to sell 15 tons of snow to an Eskimo, it'd be 59 minutes more than he needed. That's how good he is. Can you tell I'm really upset by this? So, yeah, if any of you guys can send any thoughts or prayers your way, that would be most appreciative. And also, and I was going to ask this eventually regardless of what the circumstances were, but I've stated that this weekend is we all know this weekend is St. Patrick's Day, and I really want to go out and celebrate. Regardless of what happens next, I get the feeling I'm really going to need to do that. So, if any of you guys can tell me what's going on this weekend, that'd be also very appreciative. Because again, I really want to celebrate St. Patrick's Day with gusto. And B, and this also goes without saying, I really want to see you guys in person because making these videos is fantastic and I'm glad you guys watch and enjoy them. But let's be honest, you see me, I can't see you. I'd like to be able to see you guys in real life, please. Oh, goodness. This has just been one of those weeks, you know. It stinks, but you know what? The week is almost over, and you know me, I'm always very hopeful. And I guess on that note, I don't really have much else to say other than, you know, I really hope my father gets better soon, because I've joked about, you know, my father and my mother before. I mean, not name one kid who's never talked bad or joked about his parents before. I mean, honestly, it's why Yo Mama jokes never really bothered me, because here's examples as to why Yo Mama jokes really aren't that funny. I mean, Yo Mama's so fat? Well, yeah. I'm sure my mother has never really looked her best. I mean, she's been pregnant before. What do you want me to do? Well, Yo Mama's so dumb? Well, I imagine so. I mean, I can't argue against that, because I'm certain that there's some things that she doesn't know, and yeah, I can make fun of her for it, but if I can make fun of her for it and you can, what's the point? Well, Yo Mama's so... Well, what else are you going to call it? I mean, you can't really say my mother's had I mean, yeah, I'm also very well aware that my mother has had sex before. Because my mother has had sex, and there was absolutely no repercussion or problems arriving from any of that. Again, yo mama jokes really aren't that funny. But, you know what? Hey, I had to do something to light the mood a little bit. Gotta make you smile a little bit, please. I hope I can make you guys smile. That'd be great. But, yeah. If you guys could do those 2 favors I mentioned earlier for me, that'd be really special. And it'd make me feel a lot better. And I guess on that note, that's about all I have to say for right now. As always, I'm humbled that I was able to make this video for you guys to watch and hopefully enjoy. I'm hopeful that, in spite of the situation, we all have a wonderful day today. And remember, if you guys ever want to talk, if you guys ever want to chat, I'm always here to lend an ear, and I'll always have your back. And in honor of today, beware the Ides of March! Hey, listen, I had to do that today. It's March 15th, you know. Take care.